Grid Company installs a 5-kilometer grid system to receive powership from Turkey.
Reinstate Paula Foko, a section of NPP youth, tells party leadership.
And on the international scene, 14-month-old baby survives plane crash in South Sudan. Hello, very good evening. A pleasure having you here for company here on News Night on GBC24. My name is Abdul Hayi Mumin. We're also live on GTV.
My name is Shelley and Clement Sam is our signer for tonight.
In our very first story, the Ghana Grid Company has installed a 5-kilometer grid system awaiting the arrival of the power ship. The Power Minister, Dr. Kwabena Donkor, has visited a number of power enclaves in Tema to inspect the extent of work done so far.
To mitigate the current energy crisis, the government, through the Ministry of Power, has been involved in a number of projects. These are short, medium and long-term programs to permanently resolve the power challenges. The Power Minister has visited the power enclave in Tema to see the extent of work done so far in the quest to end the erratic power supply by December as promised. The Minister, in the company of other directors of VRA and Gridco, first were at the Kpong thermal plant, where 2 thermal plants have been installed to add 220 megawatts of power to the national grid. The first unit, according to the project manager, will be ready before the end of the year, while the second unit will come on stream in February 2016. The project is 88% complete.
Percentage completion of the entire project is 88% complete. Okay, the entire project, because you see we still have to pave these places and all that. But the mechanical components of the plant are, say, 99% complete. That's why we are commissioning them. Do you understand?
At the Asogli Power Plant, the Minister for Power disclosed that, subject to parliamentary approval, Ghana will receive liquefied natural gas from the West Africa Gas Company Limited to power the second gas and steam turbines under construction by the Asogli Power Company. The new plant will add 180 megawatts of power. The general manager of the Asogli Power Plant, Harry Zan, told the minister that plans are underway to develop a coal plant in the central region.
The civil work of the first unit has finished about 80%, and the mechanic work of the first unit has finished about 60%. So we expect that at the end of this year, we will put the first unit online.
The minister was also at the Kpong Independent Power Plant, where 350 megawatts of a cycle gas turbine is under construction and will be ready in 2017. Dr. Kwabena Donkor visited the grid line, where the car power ship will be connected to the national grid. Presently, 2 jetties and 6 bollards are ready, with some minor dredging ongoing to make way for the ship.
We would have to get fuel supplied to the ship. That is being done now. There's a preparation and it's advanced. Now, once that is connected, we would also have to connect the grid to the power ship.
This barge is dual fueled. It uses HFO, heavy fuel oil, as well as gas. Arising out of the challenges with gas supply temporary, the barge will start with heavy fuel oil. A gas sales agreement has been entered into by GMPC and then the CalPower, under which GMPC will supply fuel to the barge at commercial prices.
The Ministry of Power has reiterated its resolve to end what is known as doomsday.
The Ministry of Communications has taken its turn at the Media Press series in Accra. The focus of the interaction was on the Ghana Government Online Service and the Ghana Electronic Payment Platform. These are online services provided by government to facilitate the transaction of business in the country.
There have been complaints about the inadequate access to information from some government agencies and ministries. To make information about government agencies and activities readily available, and to enhance the ease of doing business with the government in 2010 started a project to satisfy this quest. The Ghana government's online services portals and the Ghana e-payment platform were created by the Ministry of Communications and the National Information Technical Agency for the purpose of speeding up transactions between government and the public.
Portal window allows the applicant to register once and be given the credentials to allow them to access the services on the portal.
The Ghana Government Online Portal provides data on government activities, while the Ghana Electronic Payment Platform is expected to improve revenue collection and eventually promote a cashless economy. It will also reduce the number of hours one has to queue to do business with government.
So you want to do your online passport application, you'll be requested to provide your birth certificate. And so on the same platform, you can request for the birth certificate as well as, and likewise, other services that are offered on the platform.
On the protection of these online services from the attack of hackers, the ministry said adequate measures have been put in place to secure the portals.
The Ghana Library Association held its annual general meeting in Accra. It was on the theme, E-Resources and E-Services for National Development. The emerging role of the information profession, the librarians and information professionals discussed how they can adapt emerging technologies to provide information at all levels of development in the country. The wife of the Vice President, Mrs. Matilda Emisa Arthur, opened the conference.
The Ghana Library Association is the professional body of librarians and information professionals in Ghana. The association was established in 1962 and has members in all the regions of the country, with a focus on providing e-resources and e-services for national development. The president of the Ghana Library Association, Dr. Perpetua Dazi, called on her colleague librarians to demeet an emerging role of the information professionals.
Libraries continue to invest a big chunk of their budgets to subscribe to e-resources, such as online databases, e-journals, or even information gateways. As researchers, policymakers, students continue to use these credible sources, they are better informed and better positioned to critically analyze the problems of the country, formulate sound and strategic solutions to enhance national development.
The wife of the Vice President, Mrs. Matilda Emisa Arthur, noted that if e-resources and e-services are made readily available, librarians can assume the role of facilitators and partners with various agencies in the development chain.
In 2014, as part of the e-government initiative under the e-Ghana project, the National Information Technology Agency, NITA, an agency established by the Ministry of Communication, started implementing the e-services and government e-commerce project to support operations of government services online. E-government activities, however, still remain very low in the country, and this is where librarians can collaborate with government agencies to provide some of the needed services.
At their annual general meeting, the librarians maintained that they remain partners and there is no limit to how much they can contribute to the development of the nation. Theodora Medeto, GBC24, Accra.
The people of Obuasi in the Ashanti region have commended the Mahama administration for the unprecedented levels of infrastructural development in the past decade. The royals made the observation when Vice President Kwesi Emisa Arthur inspected a 600-bed capacity girls' dormitory and several ongoing projects at Christ the King Catholic School in Obuasi. Unto Biningunto has more.
Christ the King Catholic Senior High is one of the prides of the mining town of Obuasi. With humble beginnings amidst infrastructural challenges, the school has made modest academic progress. Students have had to make do with classrooms as dormitories. But now, with a soon-to-be inaugurated 600-bed girls' dormitory, hope beckons.
under the presidency of His Excellency President Mills, we had this 18-unit classroom block. So what we are seeking to do is to have the 600-bed girls' dormitory for youth, the construction of the administration block, which comes with a library that can seat about 100 students at a time, would also complement the infrastructure development that the school is particularly going through at this point in time under His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama.
The Vice President's entourage also inspected a multi-purpose dining and assembly hall with some reassuring words from the contractor.
I promise to complete this building in 2 months.
Educational program is not only the new community high schools, but the existing schools are getting support from the GET Fund to provide facilities such as this. And these are going on all over the country, and we are encouraged by what I'm hearing today, that they continue this project, and the large number of students who have been assigned to the school will get places to study.
Management of the school and the chiefs of Obuasi were amazed at the rate at which brick and mortar have sprung up in a school that has been neglected by past governments.
We continue to be grateful to the NDC government because all these infrastructure projects have come from the NDC government. Yeah. Within a matter of about 4 years. This is the second time, I think 13th April 2011, His Excellency the late President came to commission 6-unit block, and since then there is no U10. The government has continuously added more to the infrastructure build-up of the school, and these are living monuments to what the NDC government has given to the school.
Yekase modi ya obono hu modi bebre pi ba wo ba wo hwe no ma ekoso anama first na na ebobo ba na wo ba ye mobo ha no ye dan jabane de obono hu modi.
With these projects on hand, this Catholic Senior High School has leapt over a hurdle and now looks across the horizon to a quality teaching and learning environment. Nto bibini nto, GBC24 Obuasi.
Drivers and passengers who use the road from Dunkwa to Cape Coast are asking the authorities to construct the road in that part of the country as a major link to Cape Coast. Drivers get stuck on the Dunkwa-Cape Coast road for hours.
The Dunkwa-Cape Coast Road was constructed several decades ago for easy commute to Cape Coast. It has towns like Ewusem, Dentrafosu, Asma Camp, Badwa, Amoafo, and Chichire along it. It is evident at first sight that it is in a poor state. Road users on the Dunkwa-Cape Coast stretch say only big vehicles like 4x4 vehicles can ply that route with little difficulty. A driver who uses this road, Eben Fugana Pari, said the road becomes worse when it rains because the potholes get filled with water and drivers are unable to tell which is the safe portion of the road, and this is when they get stuck.
Ona woko baby akwan no wana omoda Dunkwa na adechi anse na omotumi anya kasa ebetumi di omakọ kasa ni bi bakaka kwan mu ama ebi adi ba 2 days anse na omanya kwan aye den akọ baby a ewo se omokọ.
Other road users expressed their displeasure about the state of the road and complained that the authorities had neglected the Dunkwa-Cape Coast road.
Because of say kwani nyenti omufa boase kosi asifosu ko mankasim ko
de yehu ni say aban bia obeba bia no wafane said dentra the rejected area of the whole nation. Inti aban bia ba omwaye omode kwan na ma kebia 9 enso kebia 9 enya adwuma for about 2 months ni o ma kwan no so.
Residents and road users at Dunkwa are therefore making a passionate appeal to the authorities to, as a matter of urgency, construct the road, which is a shorter route to Cape Coast.
The country's lawmakers on Thursday continued debate on the Immigration Service Bill 2015. The bill, which is at the consideration stage, is to sanitize and improve on the work of the Immigration Service. Among others, the amendment of the bill is seeking that the expenses of the services, including salaries and allowances and pensions payable to or in respect of members of the service, and the operational costs should be charged on the Consolidated Fund. A report of the Committee on Health on the Ebola vaccination trials in the country was laid before the House. Sitting continues on Friday, November 6th. Irate NPP young men and women on Thursday besieged the headquarters of the New Patriotic Party in Accra over the suspension of the national chairman, Paula Foko. The demonstrators were there to protest against the National Executive Committee and the leadership of the party. At about 11 a.m., the youth, with red bands around their necks and arms, forced their way into the premises of the party's headquarters, even though security guards at the entrance tried to stop them.
The members of the New Patriotic Party from the 10 regions of the country were protesting to demand the reinstatement of Mr. Paul Afoko, who has been suspended from his position as the party's chairman. Chanting, "No Afoko, no vote," the group besieged the party headquarters to present a petition to the leadership of the party. They asked them to reconsider the decision of the National Executive Committee that indefinitely suspended Mr. Afoko. According to the members, who are from the various constituencies, they do not want Freddie Blay, who is currently acting as the party's chairman.
If they are not ready for power, they should tell us that we'll stop suffering. We'll stop working. Why should we be working always in this problem?
Card. And this is a delegate card. So who says we are NDC? From where? NDC from where?
Numbering in excess of 500 people, they came in 10 VIP buses and were demanding that Mr. Paul Afoko is reinstated. The group is also demanding accountability within the party. They had initially wanted to enter the premises of the party headquarters, but the police prevented them, allowing only one representative to present the petition. After that, they marched to the Ghana International Press Center, where they explained the issues raised in their petition to the media. Meanwhile, supporters of the opposition New Patriotic Party from various parts of the country have petitioned the party hierarchy to rescind the decision of the national chairman Paul Afoko's suspension. The group held a news conference at the press center in Accra to appeal to their leaders to restore Mr. Afoko to his position.
Various MPP constituency executives held the press conference in support of the suspended national chairman Paul Afoko. The placard-wielding party faithful said they will continue to make their voices heard till Mr. Afoko is reinstated.
We are calling on former President Kufuor, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Paul Afoko, Komna Adeopon, all steering committee members and former national chairman and general secretaries to immediately convene a meeting and design a roadmap for party reconciliation and cohesion to ensure victory in 2016.
The group said, as frontline soldiers of the MPP, they are deeply concerned about the current development in the party. They say they are demanding a leadership that will promote peace and genuine unity for the agenda of capturing political power. They said they were unhappy about the overthrow of the party constitution by the leaders.
The main reason why we had this press conference is to show our displeasure for the suspension of our national chairman, Mr. Paul Awintemi Afoko. You know that our party has been in the news with bad image, with bad impact. And we, coming from the grassroots, the churches, the marketplaces, we know that the decision to suspend Paul Afoko will not augur well for us, preparing towards 2016 victory.
They said the suspension of Mr. Paul Afoko was ill-timed towards the Victory 2016 agenda. The local executives also urged the party to allow Paul Afoko to discharge his duties fully as prescribed by the party's constitution.
The constitution has laid down procedures for removal of officers, and we believe that those processes must be followed to the latter.
Calls are being made for a consolidated law to regulate the country's forest and wildlife sector. This is because currently there are many laws and amendments, and their overlapping provisions make it difficult to regulate the sector. This has led to illegal activities and loss of revenue to the state. The call was made when Civic Response, a leading natural resource and environmental governance policy advocacy organization working to entrench resource rights, met with Editors Forum, Ghana.
The current legal framework of the forest and wildlife sector is made up of about 27 parent acts and LIs, with many of them complemented by additional amendments. This has led to inconsistency among the various acts and regulations, making it almost impossible to understand duties and rights related to the forest and wildlife. This has led to the policies governing the sector becoming ineffective because of lack of interpretation, and further leading to loss of revenue to the government, and finally loss of the forest and wildlife due to illegal activities such as illegal tree felling. With Ghana losing about 135,000 hectares of its forest cover annually, there is the need for a consolidation of all the laws in the forest and wildlife sector into a single comprehensive and coherent act. The In-Country Associate of Client Earth UK, an NGO championing the cause, Mr. Clement Kojo Akapeme, gave the benefit of having such a unified law.
It is a start towards ensuring sustainable forest management, and I think that if we have a clear legal regime, we also enhance the way we enforce our laws, we also enhance the way we trade, and we also enhance the inflow of revenue from the trade in forest resources.
The Editors Forum Ghana is a group of editors, senior journalists and media educators who have come together to be a peer review mechanism and provide a platform for discussing issues of national interest from time to time. The group is affiliated to the Ghana Journalists Association.
And this is News Hour here on GBC24, also on GTV. We'll go for a short break. When we return, Esther Redu will be here to bring us all there is to know about business in Ghana. We'll be right back.
By courtesy of EcoBank, Hysis and Airtel, you're welcome to the business news. My name is Esther Edu. Players in Ghana's insurance industry are worried about the industry's inability to take advantage of the huge insurance business in the oil and gas sector due to financial limitations. At the moment, the entire industry is able to underwrite only 5% of the opportunities in the oil sector, with the remaining 95% reinsured by foreign firms. This came to light at a national insurance forum organized by Star Assurance in Accra.
When Ghana started commercial oil production, almost every sector of the economy was poised to take advantage of all the opportunities that came along with it. Fortunately for the insurance industry, the oil and gas sector presents conspicuous opportunities ready to be taken. This is because the oil industry comes with its attendant risks that require well-established insurance underwriters to manage them. However, Ghana's insurance industry lacks the financial capability to seize these opportunities. At a Star Assurance National Insurance Forum in Accra, it became evident that the local insurance industry can only underwrite 5% of the total oil and gas insurance business.
Undercapitalization of insurance and reinsurance companies therefore leads to capital flight through the transfer of overseas reinsurance premiums. This in turn weakens our cedi and our economy. So far, the Ghana Oil and Gas Insurance Pool, GOGIP, has only been able to retain just about 5% of the oil and gas insurance business. over 95% is reinsured overseas.
The Deputy Managing Director of Africa Reinsurance, Mr. Ken Agogobia, revealed that when players in the insurance industry came together in 2010, they were only able to raise 0.8% of the $1.4 million needed to insure Talos initial constructions.
Somebody was talking about the market needing to come together. I'm saying the whole market came together and they wrote less than 1%. We worked with the market, I'm talking about Africa Re, put some capacity for us to write 5% of that business.
A former chief executive of the National Petroleum Company, Mr. Chachu Chikata, told insurers a drop in oil prices on the international market still presents some opportunities.
As importers, we are actually beneficiaries, therefore, of the downturn in oil prices. And so we perhaps should dwell less on the lost export revenues from our oil production and look more at the benefits of the reducing import bill from our imports of petroleum products.
Experts are calling for an increase in the entry requirement for insurance companies. According to them, the move will trigger measures and acquisitions in the industry and will increase the capital base of the various companies in the sector. The National Insurance Forum is an initiative of Star Assurance, one of the leading insurance companies in Ghana.
The financial sector has been charged not to perceive the agriculture sector as a risky venture, but rather as any other business entity that can yield profit. The chief party of the USAID, Mr. Rick Devron, said the perception has made it difficult for those in agribusiness to have access to credit to expand their operations. He was speaking at a forum on agribusiness financing in Accra.
Agriculture is Ghana's most important economic sector, employing more than half the population on a formal and informal basis and accounting for almost half of GDP and export earnings. Beginning with a drop in commodity prices in the late 1960s, farmers have been faced with fewer incentives to produce. High interest rates and difficulty in producing collaterals have been some of the challenges faced in the agriculture sector. At the Forum on Agribusiness Financing, aimed at finding ways to finance those in the agriculture sector, a director of the Export Development and Agriculture Investment Fund, Mr. Frank Obing, said though farmers found it difficult to access funds for their work, the fund has made financing available to a chunk of Ghanaian farmers to expand their businesses. The chairman of the agribusiness sector of the AGI, Mr. Winfred Osewusu, said difficulty in accessing finances renders Ghanaian agriculturists constrained throughout the production, marketing and distribution stages of their operations.
The thing with the primary production side is that most of the factors are beyond the control of human beings because we do rain-fed agriculture mainly. In areas where you do irrigation and you know that there's water to feed your farm, and then also you have fertilizer and other inputs. I think that those ones are much more controlled. Okay, so that is why bankers or financiers tend to give to the processing companies or the industrial side rather than the primary production side.
Mr. Rick Devron, who is the chief party of the USAID, said farmers should be given financial help because the ideology that agriculture is high risk by the financial sector is just a perception that needs to be erased.
We have to have a marketing campaign, and we have to realize and have all the other people realize that it's perception. It's perception that our rice is as good as any other imported rice. We import 10 times as many chicken as we grow for consumption here in Ghana. And I'll just ask a question. What tastes better? A frozen chicken part coming from Brazil or a fresh chicken that was just slaughtered today.
For those in agribusiness, their plea is for government to help ensure easy access to agricultural financing, which they say constitutes a critical factor in enhancing productivity of the Ghanaian farmer and also to promote agribusiness in the country.
Let's go to the interbank market for the performance of the cedi. And now the prices of some commodities on the international market. And that was business. Thanks for your company.
Welcome to the health segment. Bani Cyril Ayiram is suffering from a kidney disease. He therefore has to undergo hemodialysis 3 times in a week. Failure to do so could be fatal. An amount of 100,000 cedis is needed for a chronic dialysis to correct this abnormality.
Bani Cyril Ayiram is 25 years old and a level 300 student of the University of Education, Winneba. 6 months ago, Cyril started experiencing severe headache and blurred vision. Doctors later diagnosed it as a kidney disease. This has greatly affected Cyril as he can no longer go about his daily activities. As a student, his academic performance has come to a halt due to his ill health. Doctors say the best option is for him to undergo a chronic dialysis, which involves a total of 100,000 Ghana cedis.
Appealing to the public to come in and help assist me. As I'm here, I cannot drink like more than 2 sachets of water a day. I'm supposed to live on just 1 sachet of water a day. And in school, I feel weak. I cannot walk, so I can't go for lectures as normal as my colleagues.
Donations could be sent to the following account details: Ghana Commercial Bank, account name Sena Bani, account number 130-101-021-7052, or call 0540-517-922.
We'll be back with more news. Please stay with us.
In international news, a Somali court has ordered the deportation of 27 Kenyans found to be in the country illegally. This is the first time in 25 years that Somalia has expelled foreigners for overstaying their visas. The men have also been fined $10 for each day they were in the country illegally. Reports say job opportunities for foreigners have opened up as peace has gradually returned to Somalia. It is not clear how long the deportees have stayed in Somalia. Reports say a growing number of foreigners are taking up jobs in the construction and hotel industries, while others are getting teaching jobs in colleges and schools. According to a recent Somali law, work permits are now mandatory for all foreigners and employers who are urged to give first priority to Somali nationals.
girl who survived Wednesday's plane crash in South Sudan's capital Juba is now conscious. Doctors say the girl is being treated at the city's teaching hospital and is able to recognize relatives. At least 36 people died after the plane crashed on takeoff near Juba Airport. The cause of the crash remains unclear, but the manufacturer said the cargo plane was not airworthy. The UN peacekeeping mission in South Sudan has sent divers to search the nearby White Nile for bodies and also for the black box recorders.
According to the European Commission, 3 million migrants are likely to arrive in Europe by 2017 as the record influx via the Mediterranean continues. The EU's executive arm said the influx would have a small but positive effect on EU economic output, raising GDP by 0.2 to 0.3%. The influx will raise the EU population by 0.4%, the Commission forecast, taking account of failed asylum claims. The flow of Syrian refugees to Europe shows no sign of abating. The UN says the weather in the agency has got rougher with the onset of winter. For international news, sports is next.
Hello, it's that time that we talk sports on GBC24 and GTV. I'm Theophilus Sampa. This is in partnership with Tobinco Pharmaceuticals Limited, producers of Lonat. Let's start off from Accra and to football. Black Stars head coach Avam Grant has invited 23 players, including Wafas midfielder Samuel Tete and Wa All-Stars goalkeeper Richard Ofori, for the 2018 FIFA World Cup qualifying fixture against Comoros. The two-legged fixture, which will take place on the 13th and 17th of November this year, will be played in Monrovia, in Comoros, and in Kumasi, in Ghana. Stars keeper Samoa Jan, who has been out of the team due to injury, will return to the side for the two-leg tie, with Andre Ayew also making the squad. Former national under-20 striker Ebenezer Asifua has been named in the squad for the World Cup second leg round qualifying matches. Here are the squad for the qualifying matches against Comoros. Goalkeepers Razak Brahima, Fatau Dauda and Richard Ofori. Defenders are Harrison Afu, Philo Uswaye, Jeffrey Schlop, Baba Rahman, John Boy, Jonathan Mensah, Edwin Jiman and Daniel Amati. The midfielders are Rabiu Mohammed, Emmanuel Ajiman Badu, Efriye Akwa, Solomon Asante, Samuel Tete, Andre Ayew and Mubarak Wakaso. The strikers are Asamoah Jan, Jordan Ayew, Abdul Majid Waris, Ebenezer Asifua and David Akam. Still in the capital, the Sports Writers Association of Ghana, SWAG, has launched this year's HP Nyamitai SWAG Cup. The competition, which has been off the calendar for the past 5 years, will be held on Sunday, November 29 at the Barbara Sports Stadium in Kumasi. Here, bites from the launch.
We're excited about bringing back the game. As you all are gathered here, let us build up the momentum to excite the nation with this very game. And we believe that after this game, there'll be every cause and reason for us to start planning the next one.
After nearly 5 years of dilatory inactivity, the SWAG Cup, which has been a key feature of our association's existence, is back on the front burner. Traditionally, the SWAG Cup is played among the nation's 2 best teams at the time. And I'm proud to announce this year's event is no exception. The reason we have settled on fantabulous Kumasi Asante Kotoko and newly crowned Premiership champions Ashanti Gold. SWAG and SIC Insurance Company Limited intends to organize a ceremony of splendor and magnificence.
That's all for sports.
You're welcome back. Now to entertainment. News of the death last week of the president of Ghana's Actors Guild, Reverend Eddie Kofi, was a hard blow. Eddie Kofi passed away at the Ridge Hospital in Accra after a short illness. A group of women in the performing arts industry have shared their sympathies with the late actor's family.
Reverend Eddie Kofi was elected to the President of Actors Guild, Ghana, in October 2014. Prior to that, he had featured in many stage plays and lots of movies both in Ghana and Nigeria. In many of these movies, he played the role of a pastor. The veteran actor passed away on 30th October 2015 after a short illness. Women in Performing Art, led by their president, Lenora Bachman, visited the family house of the late Eddie Kofi to commiserate with the family. Some of his colleagues shared some fond memories with their friend.
Today is exactly 2 weeks that I saw him at the Actors Guild office. He was with me everywhere, anywhere I go, and because he's so quiet, gentle and cool, you see, he loved playing the role of a pastor.
He called me Nkiru. That's how he used to call me, Nkiru. Though you are a foreigner in Ghana, but I want to, encourage you that you are not a foreigner. Because Ghana and Nigeria were just one.
I am very, very happy Eddie died as a priest or a pastor. Eddie, kelele akpe eko wose woba akpe ko ke wo pe hun be abajogba mi Auntie Grace, your mother, your colleague, your friend. I said bye-bye.
A brother of the late actor, Reverend Theophilus Kofi, spoke to GBC24.
I never any time envisaged that I'll be sitting before a set like this to pay tribute to my brother. Not in the near future. What has happened to us and to me, very tragic, heartbreaking, and very devastating.
The family is yet to decide on the date for the late Eddie Kofi's funeral.
This is where we draw the curtains here on News Hour. We'll be back again at 10:30 with news tonight.
Enjoy the rest of our programs. Have a good evening.